Hello, my friends. I'm Trisha Hodges. You also know me maybe as Hodgepodge Mom. And you're often used to seeing my mother Nana over on chalkpastel.com sharing her weekly art lessons and then her video tutorials at Chalk Pastel. Well, long days ago, we started this blog called Hodgepodge, and I was sharing there some of the homeschool habits that we use in our homeschool. And I have been seeing on social media and other places that many people are already starting to plan for the new school year. Some people jump right into it right after they finish their school year, or of course during the convention season. And so I wanted to share a little bit of what we do here at Hodgepodge, what I do to prepare my heart for the next homeschool year. And one of the crucial things that I really want to share with you is the very first step that I do, and that is the habit of rest. This is so critical to step back and just take some time over the summer. You determine the amount of time that you take to just rest. And by rest, I mean just step away from the homeschooling and really focus on just building some simple habits in your life. And guess what? Your children will catch those from you. Now, summer is a great time to build habits, all kinds of habits, those that you really want to shine on during the rest of the homeschool year. But for today, I'm talking to you, Mama, just for your heart. You're building that habit of rest so that you can be prepared for the next year, for planning and for preparing and picking curriculum and all of that sort of thing. Because you know what I have found myself is sometimes if I jump ahead and I don't rest first, that then I crash and burn because I just get all caught up in the frantic frenzy and our routine starts to frizzle because I haven't really stopped to rest. So I want to share with you just some very simple things real quick. Number one is build yourself a quiet time spot. Now, many of us already have a quiet time in the mornings, and sometimes it's difficult to do that with younger children, and you're often interrupted, but that's okay. It's okay for your children to come in and see you with your Bible open and having some quiet time. Last summer, I spent some time, just like half an hour or so, just sweeping off the back patio and clearing away all the pine straw and everything, and just making an outdoor spot for myself because I found I needed to actually step outside the door into the backyard and just sit down and soak up the sounds of the birds and get my hymn book out and my devotional and just have some time with the Lord. You know what? Jesus set the example when he stepped away from the crowds and just went and spent time with the Lord. So I urge you to just, if that's all you do in the time that you are resting, is just to build that quiet time. Maybe it's in the afternoon. Maybe for you it's even in the evening. But I want to encourage you to do that. Another simple way to rest and rest your heart is just to step outside, like I've mentioned. Now you can do this with the children. When mine were really little and we'd had one of those days, I would just tell myself, just step outside. So I would step out the back door, walk around the house, walk through the back gate, walk up the front lawn, maybe look up at the evening sky, notice a flower blooming or something like that, and then walk in the front door. And just that stepping outside and that change of perspective helped me to have more of a thankful attitude before the crazy time of bedtime and that sort of thing. While you're resting, you know, it's kind of difficult to really focus on resting, but for the entire family, what we have done, and something that you might like to do, is to create a chalkboard of summer prompts. And it's just some simple action verbs. And I just started listing on the chalkboard, and we just talked together with the children. And we just decided on a few things. One was worship. And then in that category, you can come up with whatever you want to. Another one is read. Just go to the library, load up on books, read this summer. Just, you have that freedom. You know, the calendar is clear, and you have this freedom, this white space on the calendar. So I will put a link in the comments here to how we do a chalkboard of summer prompts, so that it will give you some ideas. But back to the reading, one thing that we do is we put books everywhere. We use the mantle to put all the library books on. We just put piles of books everywhere so that, you know, it's available and it's there, and the children see, oh, well, there's a book that I might like. So that's an idea for you. I'm going to look at my list to make sure that I haven't forgotten anything. I do want you to, when you step back to rest, if you haven't found that motivation yet for planning, and that's where I am right now, I'm speaking to myself right now, just talk to the Lord and ask Him to give you that motivation, and then step back and wait. Enjoy your children, and guess what? It will come. You'll have that motivation. You'll be ready to sit down and do some planning in some short little time spans. Let's see, what else? I talked about the summer prompts. Oh, hymns. You know, I often share here on the Hodgepodge page the hymns that I've enjoyed that morning out of my hymnal. I have a book that I'll share with you in the comments that it's called Then Sings My Soul. And this has the story of those that wrote the hymns, and then it has the actual hymn on the page so that you can enjoy that. It's wonderful to just read through the hymn and get that tune in your head, so then it can just be, you can pull it out as you need it throughout the day. It's a big help to me, and I think that you'll find that this series of books is something that you might want to look at as well. Let's see, the hammock in the backyard. That's also a good thing to do in the summer months, just so it's inviting to go out and read. But I'm going to wrap this up here because this is just really short. It's just, I just really want to convey to you how crucial it is to step back and rest before you get into planning. Next week, I will join you and share our just the simple steps that I take in planning and how I spread it out over a certain amount of time into reasonable chunks, and that might help you as well. So look forward to that next week. I'm going to share that on Wednesday at 11:30, and that will be prior to our weekly art lesson at noon. So you can stop by and visit with me, and then go over to the Chalk Pastel page to visit with Nana. In conclusion, I want to read you something that really spoke to me several years ago. It's by one of my favorite authors. Her name is Cassandra Frere. She's not writing any longer that I know of, but back in just several years ago, she wrote something about resting. And so I'm going to read this to you, and then we'll end, and I'll see you next week. She says, "Rest, Mama. Rest a little longer than you need to. Still that nervous tick which makes you get up to clean the closet or order the books or put away the shoes left out in the hall. Instead, when you wake each morning this week, notice the dance of the green leaves outside your window, the small sounds of your children over breakfast, the rope of muscle cascading down your husband's forearm, the warmth of a chuckle deep in his throat, and the feel of your bare feet on the floor. Savor your first cup like you have all the time of a lifetime. Let the flavor of your fresh fruit charge your senses. Listen to the music around you. Can you feel it? This is the sweetness of home." I just want to encourage you to rest. And guess what? When you rest, the whole house rests. You give everyone permission to rest. It's like everybody just heaves this big sigh of relief. Mama's resting, and it's okay for us to be restful and just do some nice, quiet things and have some fun. And so I look forward to talking to you again next week. Thank you for joining me here today and helping me get started with this series. And have a good day. Thanks.